trying to see if we're going to go by Wabi. W-A-B-I.
Drafted this year.
$149 years ago. Actually, 150 years ago. All right, going to a place called Thai Select, picking up some pad thai and tofu. Well, no, actually no tofu. It's pad thai chicken, and spring roll. I'm just taking a... If you go in here, you can learn French. This is La Madeleine.
Whether you're telling us how many people you have in your party, or how many times you've come to see us this month, now you can answer in French. Listen for other quick French lessons coming up.
Yeah, I told my burnt bee story. Somebody was getting honey at the counter, getting some honey and coffee. I used to basically live like next door to Bert Chavez from Burnt Bees. True story. Well, his office was a schoolhouse. It was next to this little cabin my parents owned in Parkman, Maine. She goes, I didn't know that. It's like, yeah. He was a bum that lived in his VW van, and he sold honey. And he got in trouble with the FDA for recycling some of the glass. So he started doing a lip gloss. They sold it for about $1 billion to Johnson & Johnson. She goes, oh, really? Oh, this honey's good. I know where Drake's been hiding, Drake Doremus, but he was the director behind, he directed Like Crazy with Anton Yelchin. Everyone got quiet after COVID, but his mother ran a theater out in Orange County, Santa Ana. When I went to California, I lived in Long Beach, and I looked in the back page, thing for the actors, and it was an audition for something called House Divided. He was directing it at the age of 17 before he got accepted to AFI. He was the youngest student to ever go into AFI, American Film Institute. He also directed Breathe In with Guy Pearce. He's working on something called Aurora, but he's directed a lot of stuff. The first Facebook movie called Beauty Inside. And I was auditioning for this small little theater in Santa Ana looked like a little playhouse that his mom was running, and you know, it was a play about divorce. It's called House Divided. I was going to play a delivery person, a person that delivered stuff named Donovan, I guess. I was auditioning. I didn't know, of course, I got it. I can't remember. I think I did a John Sells monologue from Passion Fish. It was supposed to be for a female. I did the male version, which I'm sure many have done, but it was, anyway, it was a monologue from the point of view of a soap opera actress, but it could be from a soap opera actor too. It was a comic monologue, and anyway. So I went back to my little apartment in Paradise Gardens, and was, you know, laying there, and I guess I was pretty much starving. I was eating like tofu and like power bars, you know. I was like really hungry. He ended up paying me after the gig, you know, the play. He paid me in furniture, or actually it was in a lamp. He paid me in a lamp. He gave me a lamp. This is before Anchorman. I was paid in furniture and like lamps and things. It gave me like these silver balls and this lamp and stuff. He was just getting into film school. Anyway, regardless, I'm going back to the moment. I was laying on my Murphy bed, this little bed that comes out of the wall. I couldn't even feel earthquakes on it or anything, but you know, it would be shaking. But anyway, I was laying there, and the phone rang. Back then, we had phones that had a landline and an answer machine. I had no idea who it was, and I picked up the phone, and Drake's on the other end of the phone. This guy worked with Anton Yekig, if that's how you say his name. Guy Pearce and stuff. This is before he worked with him. He was just a community theater director at the age of 17. And I was 27. And I hear this voice go, I'm like, hi, this is Cole. You know, I go, hey, this is Cole. He goes, you won! What? He goes, Cole, you won! I was like, what did I win? He goes, you won the part of Donovan, House Divided. I want you to play Donovan. I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, you're in Orange County, aren't you? He's like, yeah. Santa Ana, right? Okay. Yeah, I could probably drive out there, you know. I was dealing with the police and sheriff support fund thing. I don't even know if he knew I was dealing with that. I don't know if I was dealing with that or getting ready to deal with it. I think I was getting ready to deal with it. I was doing telemarketing from my apartment back in 2000. It was a big mess. I had to pay a $200 fine. I ended up being a telemarketer for a while. Anyway, I just remember that. He goes, you won! I did the play. We did the play. I knocked over a furniture piece, but we did the play. I'm going to get a shot of Fort Worth. It was just funny because it was like, you know, that instant, you know, you won. You won. I never had a director tell me that, you know, for a part. You won. You know, like a game show or something. You know, there was no contract signed. It was just a community theater. But he did get into AFI, and we did help him with a student film called Bum. Which was about these kids that take a bum off the street and get him working like in a pizza shop and stuff. And I played one of the pizza delivery drivers. It's very strange that I do this, you know, but I enjoy doing it. And I went out with a pizza delivery driver for Domino's to kind of sit in on it. You know, he drove me around. I was like, what's it like being a pizza delivery driver? I was like, yeah, you know, got to cut the corners sometimes. Something like that. He was a real quiet guy. And I rode with him for study, you know, for the study, you know, what I was doing. This is before I went to New York for the actor studio. Whoops. Politely. Over this way. Yeah, this is before I took off to New York. So the thing was, Eric was in the play too. Eric Soderbergh, who does a lot of commercials, like 20th Century Fox commercials, all kinds. He's been on Nickelodeon, all kinds of stuff. He was going to go to Chapman, which Chapman, it's a good school. That's where the Stranger Things people are from. The guys that wrote Stranger Things. So he went to Chapman, and I had no idea anything about Chapman. I didn't know it was a big theater school or whatever. And then Eric went there, and then I eventually figured I'd get accepted to the actor studio, and I did finally. Coming out of there in that mess, I was hanging out in Tom Noble's house, and Diane Salinger. Of course, he was going to take me then. But Lipton's passed away since then. Now Bradley's doing T-Mobile commercials and playing Leonard Bernstein. Probably get a nomination, even a win for that one. Anyway, this is before Bradley Cooper, so before we even knew who he was. I was already doing like plays and and Santa Ana. Whole movie star, or what I call Star Wars, from, you know, the time of act, from 2000, 2001, you know, at the time of Bradley Cooper, BC, you know, BC, like AD, BC. This would be BC, the time of Bradley Cooper. Well, you know, I of course go off back to Texas doing Dallas Children's Theater and trying to get my equity card or whatever, you know, like auditioning for My 27 soap operas. And, you know, since then, my competition, who would, you know, of course be Bradley Cooper, because, you know, he'd be my peer in competition. You know, we're all competing, you know, at school. Since then, he's gotten, what, 9 nominations? You know, they may give him the Meryl Streep Foundation Award. You know, no one gets 9 nominations, you know, for an actor. It's like, who's done that, you know? He still will win, probably, eventually. I mean, if you get 9 nominations, it's kind of like, you know, you're waiting to get it. Still a big deal to an actor, though. That's the mecca. That's the big thing. That's the top of the heap, baby. We'll see about Bernstein, though. It's a lot of makeup. A lot of makeup. It's going to be, you know. But then you got to realize that Brendan Fraser is going to get the best. If Brendan Fraser does not win, then do not listen to any of my predictions ever again. Because that's a lot of makeup that man wore. It was like a bodysuit. We'll have to see what the Bernstein. I know they didn't release Bernstein this year for that reason. But it would probably be Apple TV, because he's working with Scorsese and Spielberg. He got funded from both of them for that, or he was told to do it. It's like an assignment piece. Spielberg went up behind him when he was doing Stars Born and said, Mr. Cooper, Bradley Cooper, he would probably even say Mr. Cooper, but he said, you're going to play Leonard Bernstein. Bradley's like, okay, I know I am. Yeah, when Spielberg walks up to an actor and says, you know, you're going to play this role, you'd be a complete psycho if you told Spielberg, no, I'm not, even if you were Will Ferrell or something. You know, you don't tell me what to do, Mr. Spielberg. You know, Will Ferrell getting mad. I don't know. They didn't ask Will Ferrell to be Bernstein. You know, of course they asked Cooper, but it looks interesting. I saw some of the still photos. I've seen some of the back, you know, Carey Mulligan and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like it's probably going to be a pretty intense little movie. You know, I hope he likes my post-apocalyptic, you know, film about a DoorDash driver. Anyway, I'm a big Christopher Guest fan, so I don't really care. I don't think Christopher Guest really cares either. You know, not that I'm saying Christopher Guest is giving me any kind of funding and stuff, and if he does, let me know. But I didn't know Christopher Guest was in Heartbeeps. It's one of my all-time favorites. I prefer Heartbeeps over Short Circuit. All right, so we're going to be going down Rivercrest. We were just here earlier. This is what reminds me of London. I was trying not to vlog today nearly as much, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed the little session of Lynn Driver for the little dailies that I'm putting together and through the old iMovie. There's some they're floodlights in the trees. They're in the trees, man, they're in the trees. And this too is kind of cool too. It's a weird tree growing into the ground. I guess the gardener was like, the trees grow into the ground in the front yard. All right, some message coming through. Oh, I see. Thanks for the $2, man. I really do appreciate that. No, I think it was more than that. I'm just joking. Great houses. Yeah. This is like big time Salvation film. Filming location. Fun with filming location kind of thing. Big time floodlights all around here. This is like, let me see if I can show you. Right off of Crest something. What is it? passing Lone Oak, and I guess it's called the Crest Country Club, Crest Country Club, River Crest Country Club. It's got this long little thing right here. It's basically a golf course. It might even compose England is in this area. Possibly, you probably do that really almost anywhere, depending on what type of place of England. It's amazing. Never even knew these houses were even really here. Right off West 7th Street. There's another great one right there. I think I delivered earlier today. Look at that right there. That's incredible. It's like a little day room kind of thing. La 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 la. You know, I would go to say Drake's an independent filmmaker, but you know, really, kind of they all are in a way. But you know, there's filmmakers that work with major studios like WB and Disney and Apple TV, but really, to be honest, if you have a famous film or a film that's distributed all over the place, it's not really an independent movie. Any real filmmaker that has like no funding really, you know, other than cost of living, which would be like our studio name. You know, any famous film in like, you know, I would say even, what's his name? Kevin Smith would even agree. Now, Clerks probably was. I mean, Clerks was picked up by a movie critic that liked it and gave it a good review, and then they went ahead and released it in various theaters. But Kevin Smith would tell you there's no independent movies. Not really. I mean, here, let me tell you about independent. Like, if you got a film that's going to a local theater and they call it an independent film, that's a laugh. It's not an independent film. And I'm talking about independently funded. Now, there are some that are even today floating on YouTube, and they're funded by these guys themselves, and they get it out there, and it's truly independent because that's their money, you know. And there's a bunch of it. I love watching them. I look for them all the time. They're catches. You know, you go fishing and you look and you're like, oh wow, I saw one the other day. I'm not gonna say names on it, but I'm thinking Lynn Driver is gonna be that. Now, of course, if we get funding and stuff, I'm not gonna turn it down. No filmmaker would turn down funding. You'd be an idiot. Even Kevin Smith at the time doing it off credit cards on Clerks, he probably would have had a little help for Robert Redford there, wouldn't he have? Yeah, sure, probably would have. Yeah, Hoser, yeah, he would have. He would have said in a heartbeat. Yeah, who's the guy? What's the guy's name? The guy did Birdemic. Sure, I'll take money from him. You know, it's funny, but he's crying and laughing at the same time. Yeah, there's really no such thing as the independent movie. Now, Lynn Driver, I'm not going to talk like a whole bunch. It would be, of course. And so is the other ones that I've done. I've done like 4 or 5 of them. My big feature was Once in a Lifetime. It's a Once in a Lifetime. That's the title of it. And then it's connected to 3 shorts, which are From Now Until Morning, The Way of Man, and That Side. And there you can tell right when you start watching them, like, yep, this is independent. But I'm trying to put it together. I have no real film school training other than actor studio drama school, you know. I think that's kind of how they want to keep it, you know. But you learn. You keep doing it, and then selling the fort. You keep learning. These are really weird. I have not. This is Chroma Modern Eye Care, and then over there is the Dickey Stadium, which is kind of new. It's where, well, Dickies supported that stadium there, right there. The Dickies that you wear right now. made that stadium. But the real Dickies is on the other side of town. They might make a few Dickies in there just to sell whenever they're showing off the horses. Here it is right there, Taco Heads. And I'm not talking about talking heads, I'm talking about Taco Heads. Taco Heads. That'd be a cool name for a band. Like a taco, like a talking head tribute. Call it Taco Heads. That's what that is right there, Taco Heads. Yeah, right, man, all right. Yeah. Take some Taco Heads. Taco Heads. A long, long time ago, in a distant galaxy, Adam the Woo was once independent, with his little phone walking around, showing where John Ritter was buried. There you go. They have two other locations of Taco Heads, one in Northside, Fort Worth, and then the other one off Magnolia, which is where they have mini restaurants. So I thought they were the only location, but they have more. Yeah, here we go. I was looking for some kind of sign or something. Taco Heads. Yeah, it could be like a tribute band, the Talking Heads. You know, if they're like, who are y'all? We're the Taco Heads. It's a good idea. Taco Heads. All right, it's about 10 minutes and I'll drop it off at your door and then we'll go forth.
So you gonna pick it up sometime this weekend?
Maybe with the blonde hair, the tip of the table. I went to school with her friend. With her.
Another day, another taco. Like $80 tacos. I got a few of them though. They're not each tacos, not $80, but they're quite a
Wabi,
bit.
and it's actually 8th Avenue. It's W-A-B-I, the Wabi House.
Right there. It's off of 8th Avenue.